Think of something good, Sin.
Now there's going to be Sin 1.0 and Sin 2.0. That's not going to get confusing.
No.
We are losing Doritos in 3, 2, 1.
Try not to laugh. Hello, everyone, and thanks for tuning in to episode 254 of the Guardian Hub podcast, where we talk about Destiny, Season of the Wish, and more. We talk about other things too. But we are very pleased to have on the show this evening special guest. Well, first of all, we got Kato, and then we got special guests Sin 1.0 and special
What's happening?
Okay, hi, and then special guest Sin 2.0.
Hi.
You're the problem. I'm the problem. It's me.
Hey, someone had to fill in last week for the real Sin, so
It's technically not filling in when there's now 4 of us, so
Well, fill in, because if there's not at least a couple people here, it's not going to be as fun. I'm not going to record a podcast just me.
no.
Yeah.
no,
so-
you wouldn't do that? You wouldn't talk to yourself? Be like, hey, Kingsley, what do you think of the Onslaught stuff going on? I think it's pretty good.
So we'll get to that.
Joey.
No,
boy.
yeah, that's a little boring. But I mean, I guess I could, but no. We have pictures of yummy-looking food in the chat by Miner, a Reuben sandwich.
Oh, that sounds
it
good.
looks
Here, I'm
delish.
making a peanut butter jelly sandwich.
That would be good too. I'm just hungry right now.
And he's talking 50 Shades of Sin over there, or at least 4 different spellings.
Okay, so we got 4 shades of Sin, and we'll see. The other night we were in some conversation, and I forget. Oh yeah, it was something about lighting a fart and calling that a Blue Angel. I'm like, is that Sin? Why you had your original name as Blue Angel Sin?
No.
I remember that conversation.
I don't
Tell
think
us
it was
if,
part of that.
Tell us the history of what Blue Angel Sin was from.
I actually have a tattoo on my leg of a blue angel, and when I was younger, I was like, I need a better name.
Is it farting too in the tattoo?
No, it's definitely not farting. So
Should be.
the original iteration of it was Blue Angel Sin, and then I shortened it to just Sin.
No, it's not just Sin. It's Sin.
Did you want to be a Blue Angel fighter pilot at some point?
No, it has nothing to do with that either.
Now I'm fucking curious. Like,
I mean, that's how I originally knew Sin, and like all names, we tend to shorten them. So on PlayStation, we were playing together. It's Blue Angel Sin, but we always just said Sin. Just like for me, it was like MC Kingsley originally, but people would just say Kingsley, and then
I'm pretty sure Kato wants me to send a picture of my thigh.
good.
don't.
I'm surprised nobody.
What?
Finish the
Well,
thought.
I was gonna. Okay, it was Blue Angel Sin. So how often did you actually get called, like, I don't know, a blue waffle or something?
I was just going to go that route.
Whoa! This isn't Destiny Addicts podcast.
Is that the After Dark conversation?
Never knew about Blue Waffle until Destiny Addicts.
Okay, but I don't know. Did anyone ever call you that?
No,
I don't.
not at all. I
So
have
never-
I
Never.
have standards.
Well, anyways, people, don't look that up if we're just.
Please don't.
Yeah.
Save yourself.
Yeah.
What?
Or do.
All right. Well, we got the different sins. Now, wait, which one's which? Sin 2.0? Is that who I'm talking to?
You got to figure it out.
Okay. I think for Sin 2.0, I was trying to send some salsa verde Doritos.
Yes.
The correct one? Okay, good. And found out today that they probably should have shown up by today, but that they were lost in transit, and I do have a refund, so I got to see if I want to go through the hassle of doing that again. But like a full refund on everything. But now, if I check the tracking thing again, it says it might show up on the 26th.
It
So
might.
maybe you'll still get it sent.
Maybe. We'll see.
Maybe they found it after the refund. I don't know what the hell's going on.
Maybe they're using some sketch transportation services like Temu, and it'll just show up randomly in a white van one
Like you
day.
say,
Tell us
did
that
you order
story.
it through Wish or Temu or?
No, but it seems like I did.
Amway?
No,
Sid
so
was telling me about
DHL Express.
it's definitely not DHL. They're like my wife's ordered some stuff on Temu, and we go to the fact where we don't use actual credit cards or PayPal. We use Apple Pay and just load Apple Cash on there to make sure we're protected. And sometimes when they're delivering stuff, like I'll see it on the camera, they're literally unmarked white vans delivering it.
Say free candy
Like,
on the
all right.
side.
Definitely does not say candy, but it is super sketch.
Like FedEx from my area used to drive, actual like FedEx vans, and now they've gone to just like unmarked vans. I'm like, who the fuck is this pulling down my driveway? Like, hold up.
All fun fact, all FedEx drivers are third party for the most part.
Well, yeah, now, but it's just weird.
our
I hate FedEx. They suck.
our mail delivery service was doing that for a while too. I don't know if they were just had a shortage on USPS official trucks, but there was just random ass like vans that would like show up with all the baskets of mail in the back, and then
Oh, that just sounds like a rural carrier here.
Hmm.
Yeah, we have mail routes for people just deliver mail
The
in
regular
their own
vehicles.
personal vehicles. Yeah.
I just figured USPS just paid for having those official trucks everywhere, but I guess I didn't know any better. Like in the whole U.S., I figured they paid for it, but
Well, everyone's supposed to get electric soon, aren't they?
I don't know.
Ask
Fudd. Yeah,
Ask Fudd.
Fudd, we need to get you back on.
Isn't he a walking route though?
Yeah, but he would.
I think
know.
he does.
Yeah. So I have an aunt that's
knows
been with the
all.
Postal Service for like 20 years, and she's always been a rural carrier. So it's literally delivering mail to like 12 people over like a 20-mile radius.
And I am taking a screenshot of this. We have a Kato Sin sandwich in the podcast live. If you look on the left, Kato sandwiched between two sins.
That's
Delicious.
awkward.
Awkward.
I'll send you that picture later, Kato. Don't you worry.
It's not what I have on my screen. It's fine.
All right. Well, we talked about Salsa Verde maybe showing up to sin. Maybe you'll never receive it. I do not know.
Maybe.
Who knows?
Who knows?
You still
At
haven't
this
found
point-
it, Sin?
No, I haven't seen it anywhere. But I also don't, I work a crap load of hours where I very rarely go to a store. But when I do, I actually do check.
Bro,
Mhm.
I found him at a gas station in the middle of nowhere, okay?
Every gas station that I stop at that I go inside for, I will check.
So
I mean,
the East Coast just doesn't like them, I guess.
Apparently not.
What do you have against Salsa Verde Doritos?
They're probably just too spicy for him.
They're not spicy for me. I like them.
They're so good. So good.
Nice.
Anyway,
All right. What else?
live
have we-
update.
Moving on.
Yeah. What else is new? Work or
Supremacy
life or-
is hot trash.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it's been interesting. But hey,
Um,
Warlocks has been winning the last few days.
I feel like this is the year it's going to be a draw.
Oh, and you think that's purposeful? I almost believe.
think so.
Usually, I give Bungie the benefit of the doubt, but I would even feel like this year it's kind of like,
What they're
Purple
balancing this last week is rigged as hell.
mm-hmm.
It feels like
Yeah.
it.
I don't know about this because it is funny too how much Warlocks have now been in the lead, and when it was Titans too, it's like always like way more than the other classes, whatever class is in the lead.
Yep.
Like, how does it switch that much when hunters were like way more, and then titans were way more, and now warlocks are way more?
Yeah.
But hey, I was able to use the focus activity and get some good packages of things. I have my 1,200 points. I have my exotic skimmer now. You're getting close in, right?
Yes, I am like at 1157 or something to that effect.
Pick up a platinum guard. Go do supremacy. You get it.
I am. That's why I'm in supremacy right now in this hot garbage.
It should be like you should be able to get it done in a match.
Hopefully, if I can actually get some kills.
Get good.
For me earlier, it was matchmaking was rough. We would get to like 11 guardians for like 20 minutes. Then like, oh,
Mhm.
can't matchmake anymore.
So I was actually watching. I think it was True Vanguard was talking about it. Like both supremacy matchmaking and regular control matchmaking, it seems like there's something broken. I don't know if you guys have been doing much PvP, but there's a lot of the times when I'll queue into a match and it's like 4v4 the whole match. It won't fill. It'll just stay at 4v4. Or it'll start out as like 6v6 and then you'll lose a player and it'll be 5v6 and then more people will leave. I had a match the other night where we were 3v6 the whole match. Like we started with 6v6 and then it dropped to 3 and we didn't find anybody to backfill.
Yeah, that was just this match. I was on the short end of that team with 4 players, and then more people started dropping.
Yeah.
And that would make sense about what you say, and it seems like it's broken. I've noticed the long matching times also, so it's just weird everywhere.
I mean, there's only 42,000 Steam players in the game right now.
Ooh, only, huh?
Okay.
But this is just
Still doesn't account for.
yeah, it's not that it should be that bad. But what is supremacy? Is it connection or is it
Connection.
more?
Supremacy is strictly connection.
Yeah, something's definitely off. I mean, I know they were also saying, but it sounds like it's much more than this issue. But they took off the class matchmaking because that was
making it
doing
even
well.
worse.
Yeah, making it even worse. And now they can't even get it going with regular matchmaking.
Yeah.
So maybe some bug they can work out in the next little bit. Who knows? But I tell you, I've been doing more PvP than I've done in years. I've hopped in several supremacy matches, mostly because of Guardian game stuff. I don't
And did
mind
you finish your
that.
title?
Title, not yet. I got all PvP stuff done, but I need to do
Nightfalls.
like 6 more contender cards and more Nightfall stuff. That was going slower than I thought. I'm only at like 60% for Nightfalls. Do you know, Kato, like about how much each Nightfall gives?
I do
You had
not.
to guess. Yeah.
I would say probably. I don't know if it's. Is it based on score, or is it just based on the
I think it's
difficulty?
based on score.
No, there was another one for score. This just says complete Nightfalls.
Oh, then it's probably like 10 or so. Like if you're just doing regular Nightfalls, it's like probably 10.
Sometimes Braytech will tell. I'll start looking there in the meantime. But
Minor, you have 3 options. You can do the top 10% of a Nightfall score, or a 3 top tier chests, or like 1,200 medals or something like that.
yeah. And the 1,200 medals, and it's a little late doing this now, but especially if you do diamond medallions, it goes fast because that gives you 300 points. So if you would have watched a Bungie stream the first couple weeks, and then this is the 3rd week going in right now, right?
I haven't
Yep.
played much,
Yeah.
and I've watched 2 streams. I've gotten 2 from that, and then I think the raid one and maybe a dungeon one.
Oh, yeah. So that's
I mean-
3, 6, 9.
Yeah, I mean it. Yeah, I mean it put me almost right there.
Yeah. So you don't have to
Maybe
play
quite
much
a
if you
bit.
do the diamond ones.
Just do a couple platinum cards and you'll be okay.
But don't I thought platinum only give like 15. Or did they give
But
more?
it's better than a gold or a bronze.
Oh, yeah.
I think they're 15.
Well, diamond gives 300. So
It goes pretty quick. I mean,
Speaking of
Yeah.
hot garbage, did you guys see the article yesterday from it was Tech Gamer about Sony's not happy
About what? That's not new
with
news.
Bungie?
about their Bungie acquisition.
Yeah,
But is there more? I thought I saw an article like that like a week or so ago. Was there a specific one about yesterday?
I just saw it yesterday. They're talking about taking over, I guess.
Yeah, I feel like okay, March 19th. But I feel like I saw this news even a week or so ago. But yeah, we can talk about it. I mean, I've heard about this for a little bit. Yeah. I mean, what's there to say really? Like, I guess if Final Shape does not match a certain standard and grow, then there's a chance of Sony fully taking over the studio, which is funny. This has happened so many times before. If you look at the history of Bungie, Microsoft.
I mean, what did they expect
Activision.
though?
Oh yeah, we'll get to that too. Yeah,
I mean, five years of a game already in the development cycle, right? 5 years of it, and they take over, and then they push all this BS about laying off a bunch of people, which sounds like was a them decision, not a Bungie decision, and then wonder why it starts to crash. I mean, yeah, you're buying into a game that's already 5 years, and you're going to tell them to start letting people go.
well, but you're missing the full story. At the very when they bought, everything was good. Yeah, the game was 5 years in, but they bought when the numbers were really good. Before Lightfall, and then how it didn't do well after that. So they probably bought it the worst time because it was right before a down period.
Well, they're talking about swooping in and reformatting their management team.
Yes. So basically, I know we've heard this part before. Maybe this is where I was getting confused, Rodimus. But even though Bungie, they said they have full rights to be independent, I guess there is some clause that if they don't hit certain financial goals, which Bungie probably hid this from us, but now we know about it, then Sony has the option to totally take over.
Well, yeah, I just know they're probably swimming because didn't they just fire the recent game director from Marathon?
Yeah, so on that news, technically the article said that he has not been doing that for like a few months, but the news just came out. So he wasn't just fired, but yeah, they changed it a few months ago, and then the news came out that, and it was a big name. What was the name? It wasn't Blackburn, but what's the other big name that we know who was in charge of Marathon until
I'll look it up.
Until recently not. But Marathon, this all leads together, but we've heard Marathon's been having issues. They changed the game director. They are supposedly revamping the game because, they had the play test and they said it didn't get good reception. Well, now the rumor is they're changing it from an extraction shooter to a hero shooter. And they're even worried that that'll even be good. And it's just basically on life support. The whole game could even get canceled.
Ziegler?
That's the new one, right?
That's the
Christopher Barrett was the one. Yeah, we've heard that name before, right? At least I have.
Yeah, Joe Ziegler replaces Christopher Barrett as game director.
Yep. Yeah, and maybe
But they're saying that Final Shape remains the highest priority right now, though.
Yeah, I could be wrong. Maybe how I read this was Ziegler's also been working on Marathon for 9 months.
That was his tweet, he said.
Yeah, so I don't know if that means he's been the director for 9 months and we didn't know, or he just became the director now. Regardless, Christopher Barrett's out, which was a big name. Marathon's not doing so good. Final Shape, I still don't have any major concerns on it being a good expansion, but I think all that doesn't matter because let's say Final Shape does good and does even more sales than the last one. Is that enough? Obviously, they have to also look at the money throughout the year, like how many people bought the annual pass, how the episodes do. And so I guess, yeah, especially if Final Shape doesn't do well, you know, it's not looking good for Destiny franchise and Sony takeover or whatever. But even if it does do okay, does that really mean much unless the episodes are just bangers and things are growing from there? And we have a plan also of year after Final Shape, we're going to get another cool expansion, or better yet, dreaming. Destiny 3 is going to be a year and a half, 2 years after that.
I could definitely see it doing well because everyone's so invested in the story. They want to see it out, and they may not
Yeah.
care for the episodes so much.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling though, if Sony did take over and revamped it, that you will definitely see a Destiny 3 at some point.
So that could be a good thing. Yeah. And that's been speculation too. Even if Sony takes over, it may not be a bad thing. I mean, it could be a bad thing for the people that work there. I don't know. Whatever. They don't have as much control, but it would be a whole change in leadership and ideology and making a new game that we could maybe have a better chance of getting a Destiny 3 sooner rather than later. Right? And
I mean, I could definitely see
they need to put more studios in it, right? Like Bungie is not big enough also, especially with having some layoffs. That we need sub studios to support like making a Destiny 3 or whatever.
I could see Destiny 3 if they did it taking the Halo route with that kind of stuff.
What's the Halo route?
Like this, it's going to be a single player, and it's going to be like like PvP will be multiplayer.
I'm still trying to understand.
Halo is not an MMORPG live service game, but it was just like a release every time, and then you can go in PvP with multiple people.
But it had a PvE aspect also.
No. It's a story, like an Assassin's Creed story. That'd be about the equivalent of it. So there would be no raids, be no dungeons.
No.
I don't necessarily see him going that route. I mean, it is always a possibility, but they'd lose a lot going that route.
Yeah. Well, and I also think they might lose a lot either way. Like, I don't know. Like, unless we really think these episodes are amazing, a lot of us, even here, have been playing Destiny less. Like, after Final Shape, I could really see. Sure, I'll check out each episode as it drops, but like, I could see being in it hot for like a couple weeks and then like
something else.
Really being something else, even more so than I am now.
So, and that's kind of the point I was going to bring up too. Is like, I think everybody's going to come back for the Final Shape because you've been with it this long.
Yeah,
you want to see the story come to an end finally. So unless they release something that's really going to grab our attention with a whole new story and everything with these episodes, I don't see, per se, the game itself continuing like it is.
Mm-hmm.
Because the game's, 10 years old? Something like that?
Yeah.
So at some point, you're just going to get bored of it. You're going to move on because it's just there. Like, you may come back to it eventually, and you may die. You may put it down for a couple of years, and come back to it.
And this is yeah, you're totally right, Kato. Yeah, I mean, it's 10 years. It's like there's only so much you can do. This is a good discussion that with having Rodimus here, and from your other podcast, DPS Dudes Playing Stuff, you were talking in the most recent episode, very similar things with live service and games that have been around forever. There's not much they can do to keep it interesting forever and ever and ever.
I was just looking like World of Warcraft has been around for 20 years, and they finally just went back, hey, let's go play back the original game 20 years ago.
So, yeah.
So, I mean, at what point do you draw a line and say, okay, this game, I'm not saying it's dead, but when are you going to stop putting the resources in? And I think part of it, we were talking earlier before the podcast, they need to dump the old gen consoles. They need to get rid of them. And I think that's what's hindering them the most as far as their gameplays or having new types of stuff, like talking about horde mode,
So-
which is Onslaught's going to be, but not really because they can't really do it because of the old gen console.
Yeah, go ahead, Kato. And then
On that point, you have like it's hard to dump old gen consoles and still be Destiny 2.
Right.
So they have to make that leap from old gen and Destiny 2 into a whole new game without old gen.
yeah, they don't have to because they did it in Destiny 1, actually. Rise of Iron, they dumped PS3 and Xbox the last year, and they only had 1 year without it. But I agree, they shouldn't do it right at the end necessarily. And that's why we're in
Well-
such an awkward spot, because we know it can't be for at least another year after Final Shape, because they're selling the annual pass to PS.
Right.
For
It
players.
has to be, yeah. You know,
So
maybe
the
that's
earliest
an
they can do it. The earliest, even if we don't get a Destiny 3, the earliest they can do it is a year after Final Shape.
Yeah. But at the same time, there's still people playing Destiny 1.
Barely.
So, well, there's still people playing it, though.
We looked up, what did we say last week? There was like 5 to 7 people streaming. When
Yeah.
We looked it up.
Yeah, I was shocked by that.
Well, and so that's even if they move forward, cut off old gen consoles. So Final Shape's the last expansion for old gen consoles. I mean, you've had 7 years out of it. Or more, whatever it's been on PlayStation 4. So,
Holy cow, there's
I mean,
11 people streaming Destiny 1 right now, more than last week.
yeah.
But yeah, we've had a long time with Destiny 2 on the older gen consoles. I obviously, if we get a Destiny 3, there's no reason that won't be new gen only. But if we
Eventually, you're
don't
gonna have to
it-
dump them.
Yeah, but let's
Yeah.
say, what's realistic though? I mean,
2 years ago.
yeah, what's realistic for getting a Destiny 3 though? What's the earliest do you think, Rodimus, we could get a Destiny 3? Oh, we might
Hold
lose.
on, I'm sorry. Give me one
No
second.
worries.
I gotta take care of something.
So, I mean, you're at least a year out from the launch of Final Shape, and that's
Launch?
on at least a year on the conservative
after the
side.
launch. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. So,
I would say year and a
But
half.
Yeah, but I mean, if they're
The reason-
secretly working on Destiny 3, that would be the only reason why we'd maybe get it like a year and a half afterwards, right?
Yeah. The reason I say year and a half is because if they stick with the February release date that they've tried to for the past couple of years, comes out in June, play it a year, rolls over to February.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I apologize. I missed a question. There was a loud crash in my bathroom. My daughter's taking a shower, so I had to go
No
check on
worries.
that.
And I think you'll like this question. What do you think the earliest Destiny 3 could be coming out if they're working on it or not working on it? But what's the
End of
earliest from
25.
today's date? 25?
Yeah, end of 25.
End of 25? Yeah.
which would
Kato was-
align with the original release schedule, right?
Yeah.
What September timeframe?
Yeah, September, October.
Yeah. Because I guess if they're secretly working on it, then a year and a half after, Kato was thinking a year and a half would be the earliest after Final Shape comes out.
But don't they have a new engine they just developed that's not on the Tiger engine?
Maybe. I
I
know
remember
people-
hearing one of the games they were not. I know Marathon was running on Tiger, but weren't they doing another game on a different engine?
Yes.
I hear Gator stirring somewhere as he faintly heard engine.
It's not anywhere as interesting as you think, Sid. Yeah, and that other engine was, I think, for the Untitled Gummy Bear project, which may be not going. That game may not be going on anymore. Either. Anyways, here's the thing: when we've talked about engine stuff too, yeah, a new engine is only necessary if something's holding you back. Now they've done a lot with this engine, but what's not holding? Yeah, there's things that could be better if you make a new engine, but the bigger issue here is back to what we were saying: older gen stuff. Engine
Yeah.
or not. So if they kick that off, yeah, they should make a new engine too if they're making a Destiny 3. But
Or just do what
They
everyone
don't
else is doing and
necessarily
use
have to.
Unreal.
Yeah, they don't necessarily have to for it to be a good game. They just need to, when they kick the older consoles off, and see, that's the thing too. A year and a half from now, PS5 and Xbox Series X is already late in its cycle.
Yep.
This is getting more disappointing thinking this through by the minute.
But Xbox is not. They've come out and said they're not going for another console. They're going for streaming.
Sure, yeah.
So I see if that's what's the case, I see PlayStation going the same route as far as that and what that's going to entail.
Mhm. So PC
Even though,
only,
but if you
maybe,
think about
or-
it,
and streaming.
I'm sorry, what was that?
So like like a game like Destiny could be like PC only and then streaming for PS and Xbox consoles or whatever.
Whatever they're coming up with, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be more like a Fire Stick than it's gonna be like an actual console. Something that's gonna
I'm
plug
a
into your
little
TV.
skeptical about that idea just because to do that they have to have basically PCs running in a data center, kind of like what Google Stadia was doing in NVIDIA GeForce Now. And both
Yeah.
those Stadia shut down. GeForce Now is not doing great.
I
Microsoft
don't
could
think
do
we're.
it. Microsoft could do it, but Sony, do they really have the wherewithal knowledge how to have a bunch of PCs running in a server?
I
with
don't
us?
think we're quite there yet.
Now, I could see something like PlayStation saying having a like a launcher on PC, if anything,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but not going full streaming instead of in lieu of a console.
Say like you have
No.
to run it on PC, but it's like the PlayStation Store, the PlayStation Network, things
Correct.
like that.
Or what was that? This has probably been a decade ago. Steam was going for like, I don't know if it ever came out into production because I wasn't really keeping track of gaming anything at that point. But it was a Steam-based console.
Yeah, the Steam Deck. No, that's the
No.
Steam Deck. But I thought Steam had one too.
Yeah, this was like essentially it was just a small compact PC. You just plug and play, and there you go.
Yeah,
I don't remember what it was
I d-
called. I see that being what we're doing moving forward. I think consoles are going to start getting smaller because the technology is improving. So I think we're going to go back from, like, what was it, the PS2 Slim size? You go, here's your console.
well,
Are you talking about the Alienware Steam machine?
Maybe? I don't know.
maybe.
I've slept since then. Like I said, this was like a decade ago or so. Come on now.
It's good you've slept since then.
6
this
years
goes-
ago. It's less than a decade.
This goes back to the live
But
service
still-
conversation. And live
Yeah.
service games have this harder than most for when consoles are changing. I again want to go back to the thing I'm really worried if they make a Destiny 3 and release it on PS5 and they want to keep that game for like 5 years or whatever, it's already going to be like kind of chugging by year 4 and 5 because PS5 is not as powerful anymore.
Yeah, but how old is the PS4 though?
Really old. But what's your point?
6 years.
It's like it should have. That's what we're having all these problems. It's like the Destiny 3. I don't know. Like Destiny 3 could even be a better game if they could make it for like a PC only or PS6. Or
I mean,
something
they're
like that.
running-
Is what I'm saying,
PS3 or PS4 came out on November 15, 2013. They're already 10 years behind,
yeah,
and they're still supporting that.
and that's why the
So-
game isn't that awesome.
And the
What if they
PS5
went-
came out in 2020.
Yeah,
What if they
Well,
went the
I-
route of
yeah, good.
like other live service games like ESO? You buy that expansion every year, but it's kind of what Destiny is, but ESO's vastly different. But then you, like Rodimus said with WoW, there's other online service games that are subscription based. What if they went the subscription based model instead of expansion model?
Yeah, I don't really care which model they go personally for me. I just want the game to be not behind in technology, like coming out of the gate,
But if they want, okay, so let's say they want that subscription-based model. How are we going to play it? Are we going to play it like WoW, where there's going to be like different little cities you can go to from point A to point B and travel? Are we going to do it like the way Starfield did it as a single player game, or I mean, how would you do
If
the subscription based game?
I think your best bet if they go a completely new iteration is to go subscription based model like WoW is, because then it doesn't matter what it's supported on because they're going to be building it around. It's like,
Create a whole new world, new characters, and go.
yeah,
I have like Cade 7 and Zavala 1, and
I don't know if I'd go that far, but I don't know. There's so many
But-
possibilities that could go with it.
Yeah. But how does that work with the technology thing? Like, so it'll come out on PS5 or whatever, but then like when PS6 comes out and PS5 is looking a little bit long in the tooth, do they switch to PS6 pretty quickly, or do they
So
hold
if
on
you go
forever again?
subscription based, like our situation now is we're held back by older gen consoles.
Mhm.
Moving forward, you go to a subscription based model with a whole new game where the base game is offered on the older platforms, but the new expansions are not. So if you want to play the
yeah.
new expansions, you have to be on the newer platform.
Well, okay. So if they have a way where it can be compartmentalized, then that can be good. Now, what happened again in Destiny 1 was they did kind of have that hybrid approach, but it still made it so Rise of Iron was limited a little bit. But what they did with Rise of Iron is they added some little bit better graphics. And there's like two things they did. I forget if you remember, Sin, but they said the reason why we have to cut off PS3 is because we're limited with something with like vault things and graphics and stuff. And so they said with Rise of Iron, just to make things look better, we have to cut off PS3. So things were a little bit better, but there's still the base. Like you're going to like the other worlds and stuff. The base wasn't really any better. So it's like
Right.
I don't know if I want a game that like the base is crappy, but the expansions are good. If we're going to be in the base a lot. But if we only
Yeah.
care about the expansions, then I guess that's okay.
I mean, eventually, let's say in 5 years, do you see? I know PC games on the rise. Do you continue thinking people are going to go to PC based on the functionality of the what you can do with a PC compared to like a console?
I don't know. Even though I love PC, I totally get why consoles are around, and I don't necessarily think they should not be
No.
around.
I don't
Well, I don't
necessarily
think
think you're.
consoles are going to be around much longer if Xbox is talking the way they're talking and going to streaming.
Yeah,
So-
but I feel like they've been talking about that for a while, and also it just really hasn't sussed out yet. Like the streaming online just hasn't really done that well. I see it as still another 10 years away, if that.
Yeah.
But that's just my pessimistic view on that, but maybe.
I don't know. I don't think we'll ever truly get away from consoles per se. I think we'll shift to something that's closer to a PC, but still very much a console. Like we're not far from it, anyways.
It's a good question, though. I mean, that's one of the benefits of PCs is, yes, it's expensive, but you can upgrade things to a point or do a whole new build without having to wait for, well, there's no such thing as a PS6 yet or whatever. You know, you have what you have.
Right.
But
and
if they could maybe make like gaming PCs a little more modular and
Simplified.
upgradable and closer price to the consoles, then maybe we could just be in a situation where, yeah, get your 20. What they should do is have like a set standard. Like we have a PS5, but have what they call like a 2024 standard gaming PC. And if you have that, you know you're good for a few years. And then the new game that comes out says, oh, you need to have at least a 2025 gaming PC or something, you know, and then it's a little more modular and people just that don't want to build PCs know they can just get a 2026 gaming PC that's already pre-built and they're good to go.
Well, I know there's been an uptick in pre-built sites. Like there's been in the past couple of years, there's been a really large uptick in a lot of different places offering pre-built gaming PC.
Well, that's cool. Yeah, because we see in our community there's a lot of people building their own, but
Yeah.
yeah, if you're hearing the pre-builds are doing pretty well, that is actually kind of cool to hear.
Yeah, a lot of streamers are partnering and or sponsored by Take Your Pick with these various places. They're offering discount codes through them. It's like, oh, you're looking for a gaming PC? Here, go here. Use this code. Buy now. You know, and I think that's a good thing. I think the stigma of being on a PC is kind of becoming less and less of a thing because more and more people are just investing in it now.
Yeah.
What with everything we're kind of talking about, like a couple weeks before, we talked about the console inclusives. Like you can get them on PC, you just can't get them on the other consoles. That's where I kind of see the PC gaming increasing because you can't play certain games like Helldivers. You can't play it on Xbox. So people are going out and buying PS5s and or building PCs to play this game currently.
Yes. Well, we've kind of known that for a while. Like PC is kind of the great equalizer in the middle where you have the most possibility of getting games. Sure, there's still some Sony exclusives that come out that don't come out on PC right away. Helldivers wasn't one of them, but there's other ones, of course, like
Final Fantasies and stuff like that.
Sony only for a bit. But generally, if you have a PC, that is the best place you can get the most games. So yeah, it is. You know, I've been saying that for a while. I mean, it is the way to go if you can make it work. Have a PC that you can do pretty much any game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how about some Onslaught?
Oh yes, but we have a late breaking question that just came in from Mr. Danger Powers.
Oh no.
I have a question for the show. What perks does Sin 2.0 have that Sin 1.0 doesn't? Is it because Sin 2.0 had Doritos Salsa Verde?
Sin 1.0 has more time to play video games.
You are not wrong, sir.
Not by much, though. I'll tell you that much. Not by much.
And unfortunately, Sin 2.0 hasn't gotten the Doritos Salsa Verde yet. At least not recently.
I know. That's hateful. I really wanted those.
We upgraded you too quickly.
I know.
You're still just 1.1?
1 point quarter.
1 point quarter. Thanks for the question. Yeah, Onslaught. I watched the
Twid
stream.
while we're at it.
What while we're at it?
Do we want to do the Twid while we're at it?
Yeah, because the Twid does a good job of recapping Onslaught.
Yeah.
But I do want to talk about the streams in general because also I feel like it's still interesting that we're having 3 of these, and there's been a lot of speculation now too what the third stream is going to be. But let's do the Twid first, and then I'll loop to speculation on why we're having 3 streams. But hey, we have a new activity called Onslaught coming into the light. April 9th? Was that the date again?
Sounds right.
Check here. Yes, April 9th. Kato, what does the Twid tell us? It's saying Onslaught's awesome, right?
Yeah. I'm going to skip the Onslaught part.
Okay.
We can talk about that.
And movie of the week.
It's not
They
going
give
that
us
fast.
It's not that quick, right?
no. Give us the date and the time for the next developer live stream, which will talk about the Brave Arsenal, new social space, new rewards, Destiny 1 inspired armor, and more. Emblems, PvP Strike Team sandbox update. Some interesting changes here. Kind of happy to see some of these changes. Auto rifles are getting some damage decrease. Hand cannons getting a damage increase. Adaptives getting a change. Pulse rifles, scout rifles, bows getting a damage increase. Exotic weapons. This is PvP. Sunshot. Increase critical hit damage against players in Crucible by 11%, allowing it to kill in 3 crits. Needed it.
Yeah, Sunshot. I
And then
missed
last
that, Kato.
word.
I'm excited. I love Sunshot.
Last word. Increase base damage by 6% to allow it to kill in 3 hits or 3 crits. So
Okay. So both can.
balancing.
Mhm.
Reducing
Ghostbusters.
flinch taken by all primary weapons by 15%. Cool. Ghostbuster. Yep. We have a sparrow, a ship, and a ghost.
I mean, I like Ghostbusters, but I don't really care about this shit in Destiny.
Oh, I will be definitely buying it just because of the nostalgia for me for
There you
Ghostbusters.
go.
So
There you go. That's cool that you're getting it. I don't know. It's just the Sparrow's
minimally,
cool.
I'm getting Slimer and Echo 1. I don't care about the Sparrow.
Oh, really? The Sparrow is like the one I'm like most interested in.
But for me,
Sparrow's
it's
pretty
one.
cool.
For me, it's more of like the memory of my grandfather because we used to watch them all the time.
hmm
So when I was younger, that was our thing.
It's cool. To give us an update on the standings for Guardian games. Bungie Bounty
Okay.
for Good.
Do you think Guardian Games, we talked about this before the podcast, will become a draw this year? It could. We have Hunters at 7, Titans at 7, and Warlocks have been winning since, I think.
They're
today
at
is
2.
third. Okay, but
How many
they're going
more
to win
days are
today
left?
also.
5?
They're going to win today, so Warlocks will at least be 3. Will they win the rest, and then it'll be a draw?
Yeah, it's going to be a draw. It's going to be 7, 7, 7.
How
I'm telling
absurd.
you.
How
It's
absurd.
rigged.
It is rigged if that happens.
So we get 3 statues in the tower?
Yeah.
I think it'd just be one statue that's all gold.
They're blended together. A Titan head,
Yep.
a Warlock body, and a Hunter legs and cape.
That's some weird conspiracy theory stuff right there.
You heard it here first.
There's a Bungie Bounty for an emblem. What was his first official Twitch channel? Defeat the Bungie Fire Team and earn the Light Lotus emblem. Okay. For each point the Bungie Fire Team scores, the Bungie Foundation will donate $3 to a shared pot supporting direct relief and the International Rescue Committee. Okay. Emblem's kind of cool, but
There's so many emblems these days.
I-
We don't really
yeah.
know what the extra special ones are.
to give us numbers for Guardian Games Cup. They've raised quite a bit. I don't know. Starting the 26th of March, so next reset. All silver packages will be discounted by 20% for 1 week through April 2nd. So if you want to stock up on some silver, there you go.
Talk about a cash grab.
Yeah. Note issues. Patches of persistence will no longer become flawed if the players lose a match while still at 0 wins. Then upon reaching 7 wins, the weekly adept weapon will be rewarded. Twitch drops. Telling you how to do that if you don't know.
Yeah, connect your account.
Yeah, pretty much. And make sure you claim the rewards before you go try and pick it up in the tower.
Yes, they need to be claimed in Twitch. That's always how Twitch has worked, although I understand the confusion if you haven't done drops before. But go to your drops page, people. Like, even if you haven't finished the drop yet, it'll give you a status of how far you've gone. And then when it's done, you click claim there also. And it won't even take you away from watching the stream. Just click on your account in the upper right, go down to drops, and then you can get more info there.
Here's one I didn't know. While Radiant, Warden's Law hand cannon does not gain benefits from anti-barrier rounds. Neat. Yeah, that's kind of it. Movies of the week. Art. Yeah, that's kind of it.
All right, let's talk about Onslaught, the new activity coming out. It is a 3-player activity in the city. What they showed us this first week is the Midtown map, which is a PvP map, but we are going to have a PvE activity in it, which, lack of a better term, we can call it tower defense. Haha, But basically, it is a semi-horde mode, not a true horde mode, people, because this caps at level 50, and the enemies, we aren't getting more and more and more each time. Instead, we're getting harder things like normal Destiny stuff. But hey, it's something. The basic idea is you have this thing called an ADU, Advanced Deployment Unit, whatever the hell its name is, and you have to defend that. Yeah. You have to defend that Advanced Defense Unit, and then ways the enemies come towards you. You will earn scrap, a material that you can use to purchase other defensive things, and then also upgrade those defensive things. We have turrets, we have tripwires, and we have decoys. And the decoy is Sweeper Bot. A little absurd, but funny in an aspect too. Now, these little disappointing to me is these defensive things you can do can only be placed in certain spots. Again, probably my guess is because of memory issues. It would have been really cool if we could place them wherever and come up with these cool ideas like, oh, let's try this over and over and try them like all over here or over here and over there. But at least you don't have to think about it. There's just certain spots you can place and purchase the defensive upgrades. Now there will be 50 waves at most. Actually, let me back up. There's 2 modes you can do on this. There's a match-made mode where it only goes through 10 waves and it's done. And then there's like a challenge mode where you can go in with your own team. And even on the challenge mode, there's going to be a normal and a legend. But the challenge mode, you can go up to wave 50. The waves are fairly quick. I did a little bit of math. I'll talk about that in a second. But I'm sure it depends on your team and blah, 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 and all the above. But the waves go fairly quick, and then each 10 waves, there's a boss fight. Meaning, instead of defending, you get teleported into a pyramid ship, and you go on the offensive, hunt down the boss, and then you get teleported back to the map. And in a different area of the map, there's 3 locations in that map if you're playing the up to wave 50 version. And then you start building up again, wave 11, wave 12, same thing again. Things are getting harder and harder. Then at level 20, you go to a boss again, rinse and repeat for each set of 10. I was talking with Kato and stuff before too. I think I remember seeing on the stream, and we were looking up how does the revive thing work. Unlimited revives up to wave, was it 30 or 20? Now I even forgot.
I think it's 20. I'm not sure. I
think it was
trying to read through.
Yeah, I put a link in our chat, which I may include also in the show notes. But someone did TLDR in a Reddit post also, and basically, yeah. Let me go here. Okay, yeah. Unlimited revives for the first 2 phases, which means level 20. So after level 20, so 21 and higher, there'll be revive tokens, or I assume maybe 1 or so. But basically, if all 3 people die, what happens, Kato?
You go to orbit.
You go to orbit, yeah. Yeah, that's it. Totally done. Game over, man. So other than that, though, there's no failure state. They said in the it's just basically, well, actually, there is one other failure state if the enemies take over the ADU, which it has a health bar on it. It's kind of like it's like that diamond icon with like a line around it. And as it takes damage, you can bring health back to it by picking up the batteries that get dropped from the enemies and throwing it, like the forges or like the salvage mission, throwing it at that, and then that brings the health back up. So as long as that doesn't totally wipe out or everyone dies after level 20, you can take as long as you need killing the enemies. What else on this? They just showed us Midtown map, which for me personally is kind of boring, and I've read that with some other people too, but it is what it is. I think they said there will be other locations too. but it's probably undoubtedly other PvP maps or things we've seen before. There's not really going to be anything new as far as location.
Probably not. No.
Yeah.
It'll all be things we've seen before, most likely.
Yeah.
But then again, they could surprise us.
They could. I'm not saying it's not possible, but I'm guessing the other maps will be things too, like could even be like Bannerfall or the other, tower type PvP maps.
I don't
what
know.
else? Yeah, what do you think about this? I don't, Sin, Rodimus, you didn't really watch the stream, but from everything you've heard from us and seen so far, any initial thoughts on this?
If it's as good as Coil, I'll give it a shot. I mean, I think so far, what I've played in Destiny the last couple of years, I think Coil's been the best thing as far as a team player thing that you can match make to.
Mm-hmm. Sin?
Yeah, I'm with Rodimus. Give it a shot. I don't know. I mean, I hear a lot of it. I mean, I know it's going to be different, but that the waves on the haunted forest where you go and then you have a boss fight and you go and you have a boss fight, kind of reminds me of that, but different.
Yeah,
we'll see. We'll see. I'm going to reserve judgment until I get to actually play it.
Of course, we'll see, but just kind of my guessing from watching them, I really don't know why. I think they kind of did a disservice for showing us 40 minutes of gameplay on it, actually. And it really kind of gave me an idea of what it's like, and it doesn't seem super interesting to me. Yes, there will be challenges of actually getting to level 50, and yes, we'll want to be going for the loot. But if I think this will actually be less interesting than Coil to me because it's so stationary with just Miner moving around. And,
well, speaking of the live stream too, I was watching a little bit of it, but I was also reading an article on how there was a glitch already with the controller and Steam, and the developer's ID got posted for like 3 seconds.
Oh yeah, well he had a little thing where maybe that's related to this where he accidentally alt tabbed out and it showed like a directory with some files in it.
But he was saying that he didn't alt tab out because he was using a controller. So he said it was a glitch
on the
that
stream he
happened.
claimed something. But I didn't follow up with everything. Yeah.
I guess kudos to them though for not locking down like the hate that was coming across and all the trolling that was going on with his ID.
Yeah.
Like they
I
were
did
messaging
watch
him in game and stuff, and
Oh geez.
Right. Yeah.
Those things are always be bad. And of course the Twitch chat, I'm sure there's a million people just writing stupid comments, but I just had it on full screen and was streaming it in the Discord, and I wasn't watching any of the comments.
I know.
No reason for a large thing like that to read any of the comments.
Right.
I know for me, like, I'm excited for it, but I'm also disappointed. Like, why does it need to be a 3-person activity? Why not make it a 6-person?
Yes.
Or more.
Agree.
Like,
I agree.
But I think we circle back around to limitations.
I think so too. I really do. Think about how much more fun we can have with 6 people. And then some people are like, well, what if you don't have 6? You don't have to. You can do the match made where you bring in the rest of the people, or just try it on a challenge mode with just 3 people anyways. But
wasn't Catch Scratch 6 people?
Yes.
So
yeah.
I felt that was very like challenging to your systems too, if you think about it.
Oh, I do think that was kind of pushing the limits. What I'm guessing here, see, memory has to do with more than just how many ads. It also has to do with how long the activity is. It's not like it has to remember everything that happens, but it does have to remember a lot. And my guess is with having the 50 waves, the only way they could do this is with 3-player.
Limit it, yeah.
Yeah.
Because Catch Crash didn't take very long.
No,
just like the deep dives and stuff like that. They don't take very long.
Mm-hmm.
Thinking back on it now.
Yeah, like I'm not trying to be like all down on this. I'd give it like 1 through a 10, and I could rate this differently when I play it, but my initial expectations are like a 6. Maybe it's going to be a lot better, but I really predict people like don't think this is like some amazing activity that's going to save Destiny. Yeah, it's a little bit different, but I think we might get bored of it fairly quickly. Now, hopefully I'll eat my words, but we'll see.
I'm kind of going over this Reddit post and just like some of it's just repeating notes. But something that's standing out to me after watching some of the live stream back now that I'm not at work, it's a mismatch of various activities we've had over the past couple of years.
Yeah.
Or longer. The ADU, it's a forge. You're picking up orbs, you're throwing them to the forge.
Yep, the ADU. Mm-hmm.
So I'll be more excited about it next week when they confirm what weapons are coming back, what weapons they're bringing in.
Yeah.
I mean, that even that for in itself is a conversation to be had about weapons. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then it'll really be interesting is why do we have a third week too? And they're going to be talking about stuff the third week, which they're keeping something close to the vest. They don't want us to know yet what the third week is going to be. Is that because it's not going to be anything interesting, or is that because it is something interesting and they just don't want us to know yet? And
I think they're just building the hype for it.
Yeah, but see, that will piss me off more in the long run if they're building hype for no good reason. They did not need to make this 3 weeks then. Like, they did not need to have 40 minutes of gameplay in week 1. Even if week 3 is going to be some cool hype drop, they could have maybe done 2 weeks total, done like 20 minutes of gameplay, talk about the weapons, whatever, and then another week doing something else. So we'll see if, again, I change my mind on week 2 and 3 are so worth it. But week 1, I guess one other point, which was kind of cool with them doing the gameplays, we kind of have an idea of how quickly these waves can go. I guess if your team isn't as experienced or things like that, waves can take longer. But what we saw in 42 minutes of gameplay in it, they got up to wave 35. So it shows that these waves can go fairly fast. So 42 minutes for wave 35, it goes up to wave 50. We're looking, what, an hour 15 for a lot of crews. Now, probably longer for certain crews, but we'll see on all this. And I just want to speculate because we've been talking about this some in the Discords too, but for the third week, I think they may show us like how this is all building into final shape. There's probably going to be we do know there's going to be a new social space. Well, they say new. That whole topic also. I don't think we're getting brand new environment. We're probably getting a social space that's new in some other environment we've had. Like some speculation was the Scourge city of the area, the Scourge area of the city. We know in final shape we're going to be getting D1 tower in some aspect. So something along those lines. Why would we get like a totally new environment? Probably not. But we're getting this new social space that probably Shax will be there. We're talking about his weapons he's opening up to all of us. That's going to be week 2. But week 3, maybe it's just going to be they're talking about some big community event. Like this will be another reason why we need to run these over and over, because we're all building up to some big defense where
building the defense for the last city.
Yeah.
Or we go chase the witness.
But how do they play that? Because the witness is supposed to take over certain things. So, like, do they need us to guarantee fail or guarantee succeed? So I don't know. But either way, I think there will be some community event aspect to this.
It'll be interesting. I don't know. Do you have any ideas what the third week will be about?
Yeah, we don't know.
I can't see the reason for the third week.
I can't either, other than it's causing some people to have crazy speculation ideas.
Right.
But I wouldn't put my hopes up that high, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Time will tell.
Yeah. Live updates.
I knew
I exited the game, but I did get the sparrow or the skimmer.
Nice.
Nice.
So that is finally done. I don't have to go buy the Galler Doodle one for 2,000 and some odd.
It's $25 because it's part of a package. Yeah.
Yeah, and I have 1,200 on my account that I haven't used yet. So whatever I would need to do to top that up to get it, but still, I got the free one.
I'm excited about the possibility of some of the weapons that'll be coming back. We know Midnight Q's coming back.
Yeah.
Blast Furnace.
There's the possibility of quite a few of the Forge weapons coming back. But it also makes me wonder if we're going to get some of the like Sunset comp weapons back, like Mountaintop, Recluse, Not Forgotten.
Yeah, because
Would be a good way for them to do it.
That's what's happened here, right? In the lore, is Shaxx has just taken all these weapons and kept them in his little armory, and
Right.
oh, by the way, now you get to have them back.
Yeah, they're outlawed in the Crucible. Well, if Shaxx is going to be the vendor, he's pulling out all the stops for us to go face the witness. So what exactly are we getting?
Yeah.
Like the Reddit post I was reading, speculation that this is how we'll get Red Death. We know Red Death is coming to Destiny 2. They have confirmed that it will be coming at some point. Is this going to be where we get it and how we get it?
So you're talking also about the speculation of this third stream. We don't know what they're going to reveal. Is that what you were saying?
Right. It kind of makes me wonder, like, is the third stream going to be more just into the light about some of the new exotics we might be getting with it? You know, is it... The first one was all about Onslaught. The second one's going to be about the weapons and stuff you can earn from Onslaught. Is this third one going to be what else is, or everything else that is coming within?
I'm hoping they reveal a raid, regardless of what it ends up
There
being.
we go. No, Gator
Yeah.
had his crazy prediction of a red subclass, which I guess we already found was incorrect. Sin's crazy prediction. But see, now we have to wait to the third week because we don't know if you're 100% incorrect until then.
Right. I mean, even if it's Leviathan, I mean, hell, that would be good.
Even if it's Scourge, and that was my least favorite of all the taken away raids, I would be like, it's something.
Well, if we're going back and bringing stuff back, I mean, that would make sense. Leviathan, a Scourge, or Crown of Sorrow. I'd hate to say it, but at this point, Wrath coming back, probably a slim chance versus the others.
It's not going to be Wrath for this.
Correct.
Wrath will be a year from now, Sin. But this, gosh, now I think there's a 10% chance, 20%. No, I raise it to 20 or 30% chance they would be bringing on week 3. Well, wouldn't that be amazing? Okay, now you got me excited.
You're welcome. I aim to please.
I don't think it'll be anything that spectacular, but
please, Bungie, please.
I think it'll just be, like I said, I think it'll just be giving us a view of what Into the Light will be. Like, they'll give us a trailer, showcase some exotics, and then talk about things.
Yeah.
That's what I'm speculating. So
See,
what else could they talk about, though?
It's just, they really didn't need to start. Do we really feel like having 3 weeks of hype is going to make that much of a difference over 2 weeks of hype? They could have just done all of this probably in 2 weeks leading up.
They're just trying to keep the community interested, to keep coming back, to keep the numbers up.
Did this get you to play more Destiny this week, Rodimus?
No.
Didn't they do something similar when they launched the 30th anniversary pack?
Maybe. I don't remember having 3 streams, though.
I don't remember
Well,
the 3
maybe
streams
not
either.
3 streams, but I know there was a lot of talk about it leading up to it.
Yeah.
So maybe they're just being more. I don't find the 3 streams necessary. Maybe now that they don't have the community managers, that's the best way for them to do it, is to do the 3 streams instead of having a personalized twit or twat or whatever.
Can you just call Sin a twit?
Yes.
Pretty much. That's what I heard.
All this talk has just got me excited to play Dragon's Dogma 2 after this.
No, my download's done.
Which, by the way, I don't know if we talked about this on the show too. We were talking before, but Dragon's Dogma 2 is out this evening as of right now, and a lot of us have been preloading it and are going to be checking it out here soon.
Not me. I'll watch
Yeah.
it.
Fortunately.
Someone streams it. So
Unfortunately, I know me, and if I start it tonight, I'll be up way too late, and I have to work in the morning. So,
you ain't going to work tomorrow.
Is that a problem?
No.
yes, that's a problem.
Yeah, why do you have to work tomorrow?
You work Fridays anyways.
I normally don't, correct, but I kind of need some overtime.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fair.
Slam a monster and go.
Yep.
Yeah, I do that every day, anyways. But
Base slam 2.
4 or 5 hours of sleep.
Well, if you hurry up and end now, you get at least a couple hours of playtime.
Yeah.
Mm.
Speaking of anything else we want to talk about, we can start slowly wrapping up here. See if we have any other questions for the show. Doesn't look like it. But hey, we do always appreciate those of you listening to the show. Put questions in our Discord. You can put them anywhere, but we do have a specific channel called Podcast Questions for the Show. Put them in there. We will for sure see it. And you can always, of course, join our live stream, which is most Thursdays, starting at 9 p.m. Eastern-ish. And we have a chat you can join, listen to the show, and write questions there also. Or comment with us and bug Sin, ask Rodimus questions, trip me and Kato up, whatever you want to do.
Absolutely.
All of it.
All of the above. I mean, why not join, right? You can have fun with Sin 1.0 and Sin 2.0.
Yes. You just got to figure out who's who.
Definitely. So, yeah, join the Discord, join the clan. Again, shout out to Lumina saying that he might start playing again and got back in the clan. We are always welcome to have you in the clan. Basically, the only requirement is you are in the Discord also, and you are not a jerk. And then put in a request. We'll get you in. Our clan often shows as full, but that doesn't mean there's not room for you. We will gladly boot out someone who has not played for a year.
Someone's getting the boot.
Yep. Well, I mean, I'm always happy unless we have so many people joining that we're down to like 3 months or less. Then we'll have a discussion of what we want to do. But right now, there's always going to be someone who hasn't played for like 6 months to a year that we can get rid of. And then, hey, if you go through phases too, and you leave the clan and want to come back later on, always more than welcome.
There's more people playing Dragon's Dogma 2 than Destiny 2 currently.
I mean, that would make sense.
I mean, if you've been waiting for 10 years for a game, wouldn't you be?
You can ride a dragon. Ooh, I might buy this game tomorrow.
It's so good.
It looks good. And I never played the first one. And I wasn't sure. Trailers can always be so iffy. They try to make this cool, like, bam, bam, like all these cutscenes and stuff. Like, I just want to see gameplay. And then I was watching a dude play. I'm like, oh, yeah, this looks good.
Yeah, except the trailers they released was gameplay. Like,
well, yeah, but like, I just really need to see it. Like,
you need like
real.
A solid gameplay, like an hour's worth of it, not like a 15-second clip.
Yes, yeah. Seeing him go in the menus a lot, seeing him like actually doing like longer fights, not like a 2-second clip of the final boss shot, like in a trailer or things like that.
Right. No, it is a lot of fun. The first one was. The first one came out 2012, but it didn't get the popularity and everything because it came out after Skyrim did. So,
do you see it ever going to multiplayer? Baldur's Gate?
Probably not. The closest, I don't know. Without jumping into it, I can't really tell you. I know the first one never did. They released an expansion for the first one, and it was really good. It just continued the story. Like, it's very story driven. Combat's different because it is Capcom. So
yeah,
you actually have to think about how you go into engagements. You can climb on monsters, you can hang on to them. Like if you run across the dragon in the first one, its weak spot was its chest. So you, like, if it went to take off in the air, if you climbed onto it, you could climb up it and stab it over and over and over in the chest. Like Cyclopses, things like that. You could climb up them, stab them in the eye. There was a lot of cool things you could do. That it was just so unique for the game at the time. Is they've carried all these things forward. Like your character size actually plays a part in the game.
That's where you got it from.
What?
Not that
The
kind of size.
Oh God, it took me.
So like, just ignore that.
You can't unhear it.
Yeah.
I still need to go finish Cyberpunk.
Me too. I have a couple side quests to do, but I saw that
There's
had a
a,
small update today.
And there's a free thing on Amazon Prime Gaming. You get some little shotgun, it looks like.
Well, let's get at it. Let's finish this up. But yeah, thanks for everyone for joining us tonight too. And as always, Rodimus, like we kind of mentioned it, but what did you guys talk about in your latest DPS podcast?
We talked about live service gaming, the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yep,
So,
good convo. Good
just
conversation.
what we see what where it's going for, and if it's going to be something more we're going to see more often. Like 'cause right now, to be honest with you, like Helldivers is killing it in their live service right now compared to some other games.
Yep. So give that a listen and see what you think.
And we talked about top 10 Little Debbie snacks.
Oh gosh, that one
Oh,
was hilarious.
I did listen to the newest episode today. Cannot. No, I disagree.
I disagreed with it as soon as I looked at it. So.
Yeah.
Is there a top 10 Destiny raids list? I doubt there is, but
Give me 1 second.
that would have to
Pull up my
probably include
source.
Destiny 1 with 2, but
I feel we did that once already. I did that for you guys.
maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just trying to think if there's any other Destiny things, but
But we could do like top 10 Destiny 2 weapons or exotics. There we go.
I can do the best Destiny 1 and 2 characters.
characters.
Lame.
Yeah,
Best exotic weapons in Destiny 2.
Yeah, that could be an interesting one.
And those are pretty much the rest. It's like music.
All right. Well, we'll talk about, maybe we'll do that on another episode with the exotics. That could be interesting. But all right. Well, you can find Rodimus there. Anything else you want to say about that? Where to find you?
Just across the Discords. I'm in most of them. Just hit me up. Tag Rodimus, and I will answer.
Kato, you can find as a
In the
lovely,
Discords.
person in the Discord. Yep. In the Discords, all the Discords.
Yeah. I haven't left any of them yet.
Yet. I'm already going to tell you you're not going to agree with the top 10 list for Destiny exotic weapons. Just saying. So
I
there's
love
2
it.
separate lists, and you
Well,
won't
now
agree with any of them.
Now I'm curious.
Nope. You can get it next week.
Damn
We'll
it.
get it. Sin, you can find as Sin 2.0 right now.
Yep. Only here. The rest of the places is Sin. Sometimes X. Hardly ever Blue Sky. That is all.
Sin seems to just be like disappearing into the ether.
I try. Kingsley.
You
Stay
gotta,
with
like
us,
click
Sin.
you gotta click your heels 3 times and Sin appears. Is that how it works?
Maybe.
I'll end up in Kansas next to Kato. Kingsley, false sender of Doritos. Take us out.
Hey, don't blame me, sir. But you can find me as Kingsley Mac all the places. You can find information about our show from our lovely website. Check it out. It's so awesome. You won't regret it. TheGuardianHub.com.
The best hub on the net.
Thank you, Sen. Thank you, Kato, and thank you, Rodimus.
Welcome.
And thanks, everyone, for tuning in again this week. We really appreciate you all. We really do. And we'll catch you all again next week. Have a good one. Bye.
Bye.
Later.
You know, Sin accused me of not doing best on the net last week.
It's because it was like 5 minutes before the end.